That's my fault. I didn't even pay that no attention either.
Oh, man. Welcome to another Head Kicks and Haymakers. The intro didn't play on my screen, so it was throwing me off.
Well, so you want to play it again for the people?
It played at the end, but we're all good, Whit. I am your boy Bodkins. Of course, with me is my brother from another mother, Whit. We took Wednesday off, but if you missed our UFC 303 post show, we did that on Sunday night. So that was a lot of fun. But we are back tonight at our normal time here. And with no UFC over the weekend, over the 4th of July weekend. But we do get, UFC Fight Night card in Denver. The main event has fallen out. And now we do have Thug Rose on the card versus Cortez as the main event. So, not too bad. I'm looking. Hold on. Give me one second. Let me look at this card here.
Yeah, I see. I'm looking at a couple things. So, okay, once again. So, yeah, we got Rose and Tracy Cortez.
Cortez at the top. Veteran Santino Ponzinibbio is on this card. Drew Dober. The card isn't the greatest, obviously. My guy Charles Johnson on the card. He's taking this fight on a 2 weeks notice. You got Jasmine Jasudavicius on this card as well. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit of something. Andre Petrosky's on this card. A little bit of something. I think obviously the main course here is Rose and Tracy Cortez. Rose was supposed to originally fight Macy Barber. Rose says she thinks she wins this. She's right, puts herself right back in the title hunt. We got to get through a couple other Minier Finio, who she lost to in the flyweight originally, and plus who knows what's going to happen with Grasso and Shevchenko. Mm-hmm. They need to get that fight out of the way. The third fight as well. So Rose might be sitting for a while, but she does want to win this fight. She does feel like she could be right there in the title. What's your thoughts here?
I mean, when it comes to me and Rose Namajunas, you got to remember there are only a few names when it comes to women's flyweight that really stand out. And when I say stand out, that doesn't mean that there's not competition. There's lots of competition at the top. But Thug Rose Namajunas has been synonymous with winning in the flyweight division for like a long time.
Now she was a strawweight before, and now this is her third fight at flyweight.
As you correct me, I realize that she has moved into a different weight class, but between the two, she has been someone that has
she's a veteran in this game. Been in this game for a hot minute.
Straight up veteran, not somebody that you can take lightly. But for her to just come in there and now we got to watch, after she took like a really hard loss from Furiat, then we saw her beat Ribas. That was a good one. And then somewhere, of course, we got to see the baton kind of pass with Nanjiao now and all that. Like that's kind of what's happening right now. But can we see her rise back up to title contention? This is one of those fights in between that space and what can happen for her.
Yeah, you're right. And if she can, and then Cortez, I'm looking at, she is, she's ranked at 11. She's taking this fight on short notice. Cortez is, to a casual fan, it's not highly known, but is a good fighter. And if she beats, a former champion, like she inserts herself as a legit contender. If she can knock off Thug Rose in Denver, which is kind of Rose's, where her home is.
Yeah, man. It's one of those situations where this can take Thug Rose out of the conversation, or which would catapult Cortez, like you said, she's at 11 right now. It'll put her somewhere definitely in the top 10, closer to the top 5.
Yeah, Rose is 6, so she would looking at you're looking at top 5 category. You know what I mean?
Definitely 5. But it's one of those situations where we have yet to see somebody dominate her in this situation on short notice. The fights that we've seen her lose lately were people who were prepared to deal with her stamina, to deal with her hands.
Yeah, I mean the Minyard fight, she just didn't throw a whole lot, and even the fight before when she fought her last fight at strawweight when she lost the title to Esparza. She didn't throw hardly. That's still to me the most boringest fight of all time. Esparza versus Rose. But even against Minyard, she didn't throw a whole lot, and she hurt her pinky. Remember, she messed up her pinky or her hand or something like that. So she had to, and that was a 5-round fight, I believe, or might have been a 3-round fight. Actually, I take that back. In France, so we'll see what happens. Who do you? We only really need to pick a winner here on this one. Who do you like?
I mean, of course, man. I'm going to roll with the veteran on this one, who was prepared to fight a different level of competition, so to speak, in Macy Barber, right? So if she brings that same type of vigor to the fight for someone who's not prepared for her, I think that's an easy dub. But when I say easy dub, I don't mean by no means that no
disrespect to Cortez.
No disrespect to Cortez, but she was ready to fight someone that we know is going to throw hands, and they're not going to be there. So I'm
right there with you. I'm picking Thug Rose to win this one, and she's been veteran in the game. She's love her to death. I think she's a great fighter, great person. That's what I mean. That's what makes it even greater. Is she's such a great person.
Right.
With one of the hot subjects in all of MMA has been the Dana has been pumping John Jones as the pound for pound champ, and but it's funny in the UFC rankings he's not the pound for pound. Right. But let's go ahead. We'll jump into the men's and then we'll do the women's. Headkicks and Haymakers top 10 pound for pound. We'll start with you, Whit. Who is your number 10?
I mean, right now, in terms of the men period in UFC, this is a really tough one because we've seen some really epic fights, since maybe February, right? February all the way to July.
I mean, really all year since January, we've had some really good pay-per-view cards. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And somewhere in here, some of these guys are going to fall back into the wayside because of recency bias. But then there's one or two that I don't care where you are, who you are, that person is going to be on the list. Let's go ahead, man. You said 10, right?
Yeah, who you got at 10? We'll go bottom to top.
I'll put a guy that right now is really, he would probably be higher. He would probably be higher in any other case, but he took a loss, and I think it was a tough loss. And I'll go with Dustin Poirier right now at 10.
Ooh, wow, that's wild. Okay.
It was a tough loss. But the only reason why I'm saying him at 10 is because he gave it his all. And I don't even want to – I would definitely have him way higher if some of the other guys who've won weren't, so recent, even with the recency bias, you know what I mean? Just DP right there, my guy. I can't take him out of the top 10 at all. Okay. But he's right there at 10, even with a loss.
I got the flyweight champion of the world at number 10. That's Alexander Pantoja. We've seen him defend the title twice now. He'll probably get one more in this year as well, I would think. Who knows who that could be? There's a couple guys fighting in a few weeks. Mozart Ezelov is fighting soon, so could be him. But yeah, I got Alexander Pantoja at number 10. Who's your number 9?
9. Pound for pound, 9. If I'm thinking with my heart, this is a tough one because I like this person. But when I saw them fight, I kept thinking in my mind, the next guy that he has to fight is going to be a monster. And that's Tom Aspinall. And whether somehow, whether somehow we ever get John Jones in there with Tom, we don't know.
Yeah, and we got Tom fighting next week, next Saturday, against Curtis Blades.
Right. So we got that going on. We got Curtis Blades on the way, and my guy Tom Aspinall, and you were the proponent for his cataclysm in head kicks and haymakers. So shout outs and kudos to you for putting us on game. But yeah, let's put him at 10. Even though it's been a while, I'm looking for him to take on Curtis Blades and make it a great one. 5 rounds. Curtis Blades is known for putting guys out. Well, let's see if he can deal with Tom Aspinall, and then maybe he'll go a little further up on that list.
Okay. I like it. I got Tom a little higher, but my number 9 guy is none other than Max Holloway.
What?
I mean, former flyweight champion, former featherweight champion. I can't put him any higher. I can't put him any higher right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of guys. Most of the guys I have ranked higher than him have belts. The only other guy that I couldn't put Volk above him or below him because Volk beat him 3 times. So I can't do that. Max has obviously got to win now at 155 and at 140, former 145 champ. So I got Max Holloway at number 9. Who's your number 8?
All right. So when we go on number 8, this is where we get into that. This is something I saw. I put my eyes on. This guy is worth the money. And unfortunately, you just put him at 9. I was going to put Max right there. Because I love the fact that he got that BMF title belt. He's looking for the next thing to be a title match, a title shot.
It looks like it could be him and Ilya. Who knows? There's a lot of back and forth there.
Yeah, Ilya's got a lot of people waiting for him to make for them to make a decision. So yeah. But I definitely got Max right there at 8. It seems good to me.
So you got Max. I got the guy that Max constantly loses to, and that's Volkanovski at number 8, the former featherweight champion. Obviously fought for the lightweight champ twice. Missed it twice, but I got Volk. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see what happens his next fight and when that's going to be. Maybe it's at the back end of this year. He's clamoring to save 300, I think, and was clamoring to save International Fight Week 303. But they said, nah, we're all right, Volk. Please continue to recover.
Even though he wanted to do it, like to give him the respect and make him his own pay-per-view, at the top of his own pay-per-view, I think is right. So, let's get Volk right there.
But yeah, I like we'll see what happens with Volk going forward, after being knocked out 2 out of his last 3 fights. So who you got at number 7?
7, this is where I got to go with my guy. Well, not necessarily my guy, but one of the guys. And I'm going to put I'd put Dricus right there. I'd put Dricus right there.
You got Dricus. You got DDP.
I put DDP at 7. Okay. He's, once again, recency bias. We saw him take a tough fight and turn it into something that he could manage with Sean Strickland.
Yeah, and he's got a fight with Izzy coming up. I don't have DDP on my list, but you can make a case for him for sure.
Yeah, this is to me. It was a fight where I feel like Sean Strickland gave everything to get the title,
and then a lot of people still think Sean Strickland won that fight.
Yes, and for him to have kind of slipped under the radar, slipped it away from Sean, I got to give him some respect. He did put up some good competition in the octagon. He has made a name for himself in a short period of time. I remember me and you talking about him, last year, going, talking about up DDP and whatnot, and now he gets to put up or shut up against someone who pretty much called him out in more ways than one.
Yeah. Somebody that doesn't have any respect for him whatsoever.
Nah, none. Hey, look, you want to be the South African, you gotta prove it to this guy.
Yeah.
So shout out to DDP. We're gonna put him right there.
My number 7's guy you mentioned earlier. It's the interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. I have him at 7. He's again, he fights Curtis Blades a week from Saturday. I'm looking forward to 304. So we'll obviously break down that one next week. But yeah, I got Tom Aspinall at 7. Who's your number 6?
I like it. So now we're getting closer and closer into what I like to call the red zone. When I say the red zone, I mean like this just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys just started whooping ass before, and it's crazy. So to me, I gotta put Ilya right there on, and he's gonna be on the outside. He's on the outside looking in. I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm not saying I don't understand him, but he beat Volk. You know what I'm saying? And he beat Volk and what I think was
knocked his ass out.
Yeah, like he beat him in a crazy fashion. You know what I mean? So although I was a huge Volk, I think me and you went for Volk for that one. You know, competition wise, I got to see him do the next big thing. You know what I mean? I just want to see him do the next big
Whether it could be Max Holloway, it looks like, or a rematch with Volk. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I have Ilya at 6 as well. So we're in agreement at 6. Who's your number 5?
All right, so 5, man. These are going to be the easy ones right here. They kind of start jumping out at you. You know what I'm saying? So if we got Volk somewhere, we got Ilya somewhere. Let's go ahead and put Sean right there at 5.
Yeah, I agree right there with you. I have Sean O'Malley at. You mean Sean O'Malley, right? Not Sean Strickland. I got Sean O'Malley at 5 as well. The bantamweight champion. It looks like him and Merab's next, and that's a tough fight. But I mean, Sean, you know what I mean? Like he is so good at everything. Like that's the thing. It's like he's good at takedown defense. He doesn't gonna wrestle you, but like he's good at takedown defense. Like his defense is good. His jiu-jitsu is good. Right. He's so lengthy and tall. I'm right there with you. I actually have Sean at number 5 too. I've been a big fan of Sean O'Malley for a long time, and I still think. But Merab is. I'm so excited to see him and Merab fight because I think Merab is so good too. Like the pressure that him and Merab, like that fight's going to be so good when it happens, allegedly and possibly at the Sphere.
I'm about to say the thing is the next big thing will be the Sphere. You know, to watch the fight inside and probably around the Sphere at the same time. I think that's a big deal. You mentioned it, bro. When we talk about somebody who can pretty much do it all. You know, Sean is right up there at the top of the list. If he's not like one or two. For me, I watched the Joe Rogan podcast episode where he was talking with my man Rampage. Y'all know him.
I watched that one too. Yeah.
And Rampage asked me that question, and he said, Sean, but the thing is, he was like, we didn't get to see all of his wrestling, but he kept Aljo off of him. And Aljo is the man.
Is an elite wrestler. Is an elite wrestler. Yeah,
you know,
one of the best.
If he's just good at stopping you from wrestling, then that to me, you know, speaks volumes on his. Even in the Sugar fight where it went, or not the Sugar fight, but the Cheeto fight where it went 5 rounds, he just continued to outpour Cheeto and just beat up Cheeto from top to bottom. So he's got the cardio to go with it as well. Yeah, man, definitely got the cardio.
Who's your number 4?
Okay, so we're getting into where you at the top of the list, man. Top 4. I feel like maybe 4 through 1
through 5. Really, yeah. I think to me, Sean needs like another title defense. You know what I mean? To only have maybe one. If he can get another, like you could, you know what I mean? Like he could very easily make a case for being pound for pound.
Yeah, I'm with you on that
like
one.
A couple more, like 2 more, 1 more title defenses.
Right. You damn right about that, man. Because the personality, the charisma.
Oh yeah.
And he gets in the ring and pretty much does it. Like Israel Adesanya was very close to that at one point in time.
Yeah.
But we know Izzy, took a loss, but we'll see what happens. All right. So where we at? 3?
Number 4.
4. So we're gonna go 4. I'm gonna go with Islam Makhachev. Now, for me, I know the UFC list says that Islam is one. To me, Islam is one of the greatest to put on the gloves. We saw the Dustin Poirier fight. He did everything in his power to not lose that fight, but he also at the very, very last minute found a way to win. You know what I mean? And I'm texting you, bro. I'm like 4 bids in, like if Dustin could just hold on, and then you can see it in his eyes. He was like,
Yeah, he jumped. How he jumped on that neck so quickly is still crazy.
He snapped, bro. He was getting tired of getting He was getting tired of getting punched. He was getting because DD, like my man DP was peppering him up, and to see the switch, let's say John Jones. You watch a John Jones fight, the switch would go off. Back in the day, you could watch a Spider fight, an Anderson Silva fight. You would see the switch go off, and then he's doing all kind of cool stuff. The switch goes off for Islam Makhachev. You're immediately tossed and tripped to the ground, and I got to take you out. And that's what he did. And so shout out to Islam. Although he's number 1 on the UFC list, I got him at 3.
I got Leon at 4.
4. Okay, gotcha.
So I got Leon at 4. We'll see Leon fight next Saturday as well against Bilal Muhammad. Leon's done it all. Yeah, boring Bilal is what I like to call him. But I like Leon Rocky Edwards at 4. I just think he's so good too, man. And what he did to Kamaru Usman still to this day, beat him. At that time when he knocked out Kamaru was probably the best fighter on the planet in my mind. And then he knocks him out and then beats him pretty handily in the rematch, beats Colby Covington. And then now he's got Bilal next. But my number 3 was the guy that you just mentioned, Islam. So I'll just go ahead and give my number 3 for all the purposes that you said. So who is your number 3?
So 3 is. Well, man, maybe I missed one. Did I miss one? Maybe I meant to say Islam at 3. 4, Leon at 4.
You got 4. So you got Leon at 4.
Yeah, Leon at 4, Islam at 3.
Okay, so we got the same 3 and 4.
You're right. Yeah, Leon at 4, Islam at 3. And then so we're on 2 now, top 2.
Yeah, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is somebody that just because of his name, you got to leave him at number 2, right? Just because of the name, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when. Could he fight Stipe? Could he fight Tom? Could he fight Shama? Okay, you know what that's coming. Where I'm coming for. Got to say John Jones, bro. Let's put John Jones at number 2.
I got Jones at number 2 as well. You know what I mean? He's still fucking John Jones.
Still John Jones, bro.
He's still John Bones Jones. Still one of the best fighters of all time, if not the greatest fighter of all time. Never lost. He does
win up a weight class.
Yeah. It looks like he's going to fight Stipe. And I think you said it. I think we're in agreement. Our number 1 guy here on Headkicks Haymaker is Mr. Chama himself. Mr. Left Hook, Alex Potan Piera. The guy is on an incredible run in such short time. We talked about it last Sunday on the 303 post show, everything that he has done. And it finishes in 2 different weight classes in that time to win, the middleweight title from Izzy, now to the light heavyweight title, and he's cleaning out the division in the light heavyweight title. Right. We're right there with. I'm right there with you. I think Mr. Chama himself, Alex Piera, is the pound for pound.
Listen, bro, me and you, we doing this show. We're talking about it, and we say, "Oh my God, he's fighting Yuri Prochazka the first time." Takes him out, possible questionable stoppage. Last week, the week before. Oh my God, he's fighting Yuri Prochazka. No questions at all what took place with that decision or with that one. The fight before that, with someone we all were looking forward to saying, hey, well, maybe Jamal Hill can do it. Maybe because he was on a roll before he got hurt. Takes Jamal Hill out. The fights with Izzy, we could talk about it all day. You know what I'm saying? But to me, the thing is for people to possibly think of him as the first triple champ. Okay, 3 belts, 3 divisions, and him not even that's not even have a tune-up. Let's just throw you straight in the ring with the best of the best. I think that speaks volumes for
if he won the 3rd belt, he'd become the greatest of all time.
Immediately. I mean, that would be questionably good because the idea would be if he won the 3rd belt, who would he be beating? Tom Aspinall or John Jones?
Yeah,
that would be the question.
Let me ask you this: what fight do you think is the biggest fight? Is it John Jones versus outside of like Conor that UFC could make? Outside of a Conor fight, obviously, but is it Alex Pereira versus John Jones, Alex Pereira versus Aspinall, John Jones versus Stipe, or John Jones versus Aspinall?
I mean, for somebody like me and you, for fight fans, for nostalgia purposes, I think we just want to see Stipe and Jones for the hell of it.
I don't want to see it at all.
You don't want to see it at all? No. There are people that
I wanted to see it 5 years ago. I don't need to see it in 2024.
I mean, okay, if you're not that's what I'm saying. If you're not nostalgic, right? If you don't want to see it just because that was supposed to be the Clash of the Titans 4 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, then the fight to make would have. I still honestly would think, man, let's throw like Tom beats Curtis. Let's just prospectively. Tom beats Curtis Blades. I want Pierre to beat Tom, and ain't nobody else to fight but John. That's how I would think.
Just do the biggest fight they can make is Alex Pierre versus John Jones.
Yeah,
just do it right now.
That's my point. But I still would want him to.
No way, John Jones won't take that fight though. John Jones.
I would want him to fight Tom so that there would be no choice.
Well, he could beat John Jones, and then him and Tom could fight.
Nah, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just imagine John Jones is at home watching Tom Aspinall get knocked out, possibly, right? And then you gotta call his phone. You got soon as the bell rings.
John Jones don't want nothing to do with it.
Dana's like, yo, John, you see this shit? You see it?
At 40 years old, John Jones don't want nothing to do with Alex Pierre. That's what I'm saying.
I think once again that the perspective would be, because think about it. Before we were talking about Alex Pierre, the scary hours was going to be Francis and John. That was scary hours. That was scary hours. Yeah. Now let's take Francis out. You still want to see somebody put up enough of a plateau to get.
Give me Alex Pierre and fucking Francis. Yeah. That would be. I mean, give me that fight.
It's to me. I want to see him fight the top of the. I want to see him fight the top of the heavyweight division, and then you ain't got no choice. We got to call John. And the thing is, John Jones is the type of person to, like, if he does it right, everybody will ask, nobody will know, but John Jones will be somehow magically shifted to the crowd, and he will come into the ring, and he's going to do it. John Jones is we may not like John Jones's personality outside of the ring. He might be sexist to women, especially people trying to see him piss in a cup. He may do cocaine in Vegas in hotel rooms with strippers. I don't care. Right? Yeah. Who doesn't? But when it comes time to fight the scary fights, John Jones don't run from that.
He ain't gonna fight Alex Pierre. He's not gonna fight Alex Pierre.
I put that.
He gonna fight Stipe, be 80-year-old Stipe, and then he's gonna retire.
The money talk, bro. I'm telling you. Pierre Jones, Madison.
He don't want that. He wants to retire with a 0 on his record. He ain't gonna fight Alex
Pierre Jones, Madison Square Garden, or like Pierre Jones in like.
Yeah, that would be the biggest fight they can make, but he ain't making it. They ain't gonna make it. They ain't making it.
They will. That would, but I'm telling you, but the point would be Pierre has to fight one person in the heavyweight division. Only one. That's only. You don't got to fight two. You don't got to fight Curtis.
Well, yeah, let it be for the title. And if he wins, you know what I mean?
Whoever has the title, if he fights him and takes him out, it's no other choice. But and John Jones will be in the wings waiting. John Jones will do, and he's got he has a sense of himself as a fighter. I think what's my man? What's my guy's name? Kung Fu Panda. You know what I'm saying? Although, it looked like he wasn't the best fighter, he had a sense of himself to know when he gets there, this is the fight. This is the one. Which is how, of course, Daniel Cormier became champ. He knew that and then the only thing is, it's unfortunately he found out he couldn't beat John. That's it. Everything else, but he knew he had to get in there and do it. And I feel like John Jones is the same way. Look, ain't nobody else coming. I got to take him out.
I was trying to think, really, if you think about it, like only Conor, there's only been a handful of fighters that you could have thought, we all thought at maybe one time could win 3 belts. Conor won belt, and then kind of moved, he's fought at welterweight and he thought maybe, you know what I mean? Like if he took welterweight serious, maybe he could win the welterweight title. This was obviously before he got super rich, but you know what I mean? Like it was possible. It's like possible. BJ Penn at one time, I think he won 2. You know what I mean? Like
BJ Penn.
There's not really very many guys where you're like, oh, they could win three belts in 3 different weight classes.
Maybe a young Anderson Silva, because he could have cut that weight. It seemed like Anderson Silva got to a point where his body just would not let him get any further down.
Yeah.
But early Spider was, just lanky. You know what I'm saying? Just a lanky guy. But later on in the career, it was just all light heavy. He couldn't lose that weight.
Yeah. Like he fought at middleweight. I mean, did fight John or DC at for the at middleweight once or at light heavyweight once. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. Let's get into the women's real quick. Who's your number 10 women's pound for pound?
So man, this is actually an interesting time for women's like pound for pound, because this one I kind of see like if I'm thinking about it, like somebody that was maybe 7 is now like 2, 3, right? Am I right in my mind? So like right now, let's just go to the bottom. I'm gonna put Yan Xiaonan right there, and she's where she belongs. I like her at 10.
I got one of the baddest women in the UFC who's fought in multiple weight classes, won in multiple weight classes. That's Jessica Andrade at number 10.
Andrade right there. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Who's your number 9?
This is where we switch, and I got Andrade at 9.
Okay.
I definitely like Andrade. Just a little bit more of a Yan Xiaonan. I want to see more of Yan Xiaonan in the future. Of course, what I'm saying, with the Zhang Weili fight, I think that was like a really cool fight, not just for us, but for the culture, for the Chinese culture. Like that, I think that was a big deal. But I want to see more of Yan Xiaonan. But I got Jessica Andrade at 9.
Who's your number 9? Or you had Yan. Yeah, you had Yan. Or you had Jessica Andrade at number 9.
Andrade at 9. Yep.
I got Erin Blanchfield at number 9.
Okay. Yeah.
I know she's coming off a loss, but I like I still like her.
So this is where I'm gonna go. This is probably like a bit of a curveball, but this is just because of not necessarily recency bias, but you said Blanchfield at 8.
Yeah, I got Blanchfield at 9.
Blanchfield at 9. I got Rose there at 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, I have Thug at Thug Rose at 7, but my number 8 is actually I need to flip this. My bad. I just remembered this. I'm gonna flip this real quick. I got Thug Rose at 8. And then my number 7, I'll give you my number 7 because I just flipped it. Is the lady that she lost to, Rose lost to, and that's Mignon Frigno at number 7.
I like that one.
Who's your number 7?
My 7 would be Juliana Pena. I've once again we had Juliana right there, still tough competition. Did everything she did to try to beat Nunez, which is the GOAT. Period. It's tough for me to like forget that she's still up there in the rankings, and so that's why I got to throw her at least right there at 6, 7.
At number 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's your? I give my number 7 was Thug Rose. So who's will go to you for your number 6?
6, we got Rocky, man. Rockwell Pennington, definitely a stud. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that is creeping up there right now. The 6-fight win streak that she's on is something to pay attention to. So I do like her right there at 6, right on the outside.
Why number 6 is Tatiana Suarez?
You know what? I
can't wait to see her back. That HBO made a great documentary. If you get a chance to watch it, but I got Tatiana at number 6. Who is your? So you had Juliana Pena at 6. Who is your number 5?
I gave that one to Mignon Fiyaro because just because of, like I said, recency bias. She just beat Blanchfield.
Beat Rose, like she is on a roll.
Beat the Rose, yeah. That like those are some names, especially with the Rose up there. So I got her right there, bro.
My number 5 is the girl I've been high on for a long time, and that's Kayla Harrison. Kayla,
yeah, okay.
Kayla's beat Holly Holm. She's kind of right there waiting for her next fight. But she also fought at, used to fight at 145, is now fighting at 135. So she's won in both. So give me Kayla Harrison at number 5. Who's your number 4?
I was gonna put Kayla at 4. And then kind of my top 3 is basically just the champs. We know those. We know who's
yeah. My number 4 is Rocky Pennington. For that same reason, she's a champ as well. So I had to put her up there. Number 3. Who's your number 3?
All right, I like this one because this was once again a cultural fight. It was a big deal. It might not have been for us in America, but like when I researched what the MMA community who were of Asian descent were saying at that time, because we was looking at it, there was a huge meal. So I got Zhang Wei Li right there, man. Zhang Wei Li.
Okay. I got Valentina at the Bullet at number 3. She is not a champ, but just is about to fight Grasso again for the 3rd crack. So I got Valentina, who had the title for a long time, but I got Valentina at 3.
Yeah, well, right there, coming up at 2, we got to swap out because I got Valentina at 2 and her arch nemesis right there at 1, man.
Okay, so my number 2 is Grasso. And then I have Wei Li at number 1.
Okay. I mean, 3 through 1 is one of those where you could interchange.
Yeah.
I think you can interchange.
The way Wei Li has dominated people, since her losses to Rose, she's just dominated them. I mean, dominated Joanna Jacek, dominated.
Yeah. We didn't. Now, me and you, we didn't. I don't even think we saw the Joanna Jacek loss happen. We saw her losing, but not in that fashion.
Yeah. She dominated Sparza. You know what I mean? Beat Zhang Xiaonan. Like she just has it. Rose is her kryptonite, and she hasn't lost to nobody but. You know what I mean? So
everybody's got a little. Somebody, and I think it's just hers is just like you said.
Yeah, I mean, look at Max, right? Like, can't figure out the Alex puzzle, right? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, Robert Whittaker can beat damn near anybody, but can't figure out Izzy. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, their styles are different, and for whatever reason, they can't do it or can't get over that person. It seems like sometimes.
For sure.
Will, before we get out of here, what's going on in the boxing world?
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, man, let's just let's rewind the clock back to last week, Saturday. So much was going on in boxing, and I think we gotta just take a glance at it. So we're gonna start with I'm gonna start at the bottom with the non-boxers. The non-boxers that the fight was on late, who did their own thing, their own promotions, intertwined with the zone. We're talking about Diaz and Masvidal. Okay, so when we think about either Diaz brother, it's a name It's synonymous with fights. It's synonymous with, like good cardio, lots of punches, and then somewhere at the end of it, it's synonymous with smoking weed. Let's be real with it. And then of course we got Jorge Masvidal. Used to be a Street Fighter, UFC, BMF, Kimbo Slice's homeboy, R.I.P. Kimbo, and the King of Miami. You know what I mean? And literally, none of that has to do with that I described with either person has to do with good boxing. We saw good boxing out of them, bro. Like,
yeah, they threw a lot. I mean, both guys threw a lot of punches.
Yes, and that's kind of what I was going to get to, because I'm starting here because it gets worse. So this we saw two guys go out there and literally lay it on the line. I want to tell everybody, look, we were thinking Jake Paul, right? Jake Paul. I was so much more excited to see that than any of them fight Jake Paul. I think honestly, Jorge would be way more exciting fighting Jake Paul. The way he was hitting Nick Diaz, bro, like it's as if Jake was there, I think he would have got knocked out. Is my point. But of course, the titanium barreled headed man that is Nick Diaz did not fall down. You know what I'm saying? And then towards the end, we saw Diaz do his famous peppering. And when I say peppering, I mean the punches were coming in bunches. It was a lot of, and it was flurries in the last 6 or 7 rounds.
It was a close fight. From everything I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the fight. But everything I read was Diaz threw more punches, but Masvidal threw more significant punches, like more damage.
Yeah. And if you got a chance to see it, Jorge was winging. You know what I'm saying? Jorge is swinging for the fences out there. But Diaz definitely has, and he did it in MMA. He did it in the octagon. He will jab you to death with that reach.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily connecting with power to put you out, but it's a lot of punches though. It's a lot. And I give them like kudos for going in there and giving it all they got, and nobody fell down, nobody, half-assed it. They were ready to go out there and bang. Then let's go up to actual boxes, bro. Let's look at some actual boxes that night. I watched Top Rank put on an event on ESPN in which let me make sure I got the names right, because I don't want to disrespect nobody. So somehow, some way, right? We got the idea that boxing is a sport in which is judged, right? And somehow, some way, they go, well, don't let the judges be, what gets you to the end.
How the hell does that happen? A guy wins 11 rounds, like, you know what I mean? And who was judging the fight? Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles?
Man, listen, Conceição, first of all, Robinson Conceição is no slouch. But O'Shaquie Foster went out there and put on a clinic of how to be evasive, how to counterpunch, and how to not get hit as much. In boxing, you're going to get hit. But Conceição did do a bit of a good job in like 9 through 12. But everything else was based on one person getting his rocks off, basically. And somehow, some way, at the end, the judges decided that Robinson Conceição was the winner. How can we, as people who watch fights, go, this is right? I'm going to watch this again next Friday. Heck no. I don't care who you are. You know that was wrong. And I applaud him, because boxing is one of those sports where, they stick to Mike, and UFC does it too, but they stick to Mike in the loser's face immediately. You know what I'm saying? UFC, you get a post-fight conference if you lost. It might catch you in the hallway if it was a big deal, but they don't really talk to you until after you go in the dressing room, you shower, you fix yourself up, and they talked to O'Shaquie Foster, and he put his heart on that microphone, and he said, I thought I did. I thought I gave it all I got. I don't know how I was winning all those rounds, and I lost that fight, but I'm gonna get that rematch. and I give it to him for, letting the world know, like, he cares about what he does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, every time you lose, you got to cry. But if you're going to cry for that. You know what I'm saying? Cry for that performance because he was winning every round.
Yeah, he was.
And it was disappointing. It was disheartening as a fight fan to see that good of a performance be called a loss. You know what I'm saying? So there's take number 2 right there. And now the cream of the crop, which is kind of like negative today because of what I'm about to say. But we saw Shakur Stevenson defend his WBC light heavyweight title against Artem Haturian. And I could have been in the middle of barbecuing, grilling, washing my kids, took a nap, woke up in the 11th round, and I would have saw the same thing in the first round. It was in
a lot of people hating on Shakur says he's a
bro. And let me say this. The town and if y'all don't know, I was born in Newark, New Jersey. My parents moved me to South Carolina. I am appalled, but also I understand why people in Newark, New Jersey, his hometown, got to the
they didn't show out. They didn't even show up.
They started leaving, bro. They started leaving because the fight was that uninteresting. And this is what I say right here. Before Money Mayweather, before Floyd began to be the evasive, slick fighter that we knew him as when he came Money Mayweather, he was putting up big numbers. But we would watch the fight, and for 12 rounds, Floyd would not get touched and would barely touch the other person, right? Shakur Steve, before he got to that point, Floyd was touching up cats. Floyd was taking risks. Floyd was punching. Floyd would get in there, do the dirty work, do the dirty boxing. So much so, you know what I'm saying? We've seen the likes of Zab Judah almost take Floyd out. You know what I'm saying? Shakur Stevenson has not gotten to that point in which he can do that, man. He can't. He writes checks that his hands don't cash. You know what I'm saying? His last fight for Top Rank, this is all speculation. We can go look at it. So the renegotiation for his five more fights with Top Rank was somewhere around like the $50 million mark. He told them no. So he did not resign with Top Rank. So who's going to offer you money for after that performance though? Who's going to?
Tank Davis. I think you might have sent me something that said like Tank was like, I don't even want the fight because like I'd beat that guy in 2 rounds.
It's the main point. The main point is Shakur Stevenson is a really, really good fighter. He is real. That's really good. But the general public who buys boxing, who spends $69.99, $79.99, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. Not somebody else. You said you're gonna beat somebody. Let me see you beat him. Like literally, Artem was in the fight all the way up until maybe the ninth or 10th round. He was there, but the punch disparity is what separated them. You know what I'm saying? Who was landing the punches? How many punches he was missing? That is what separated the fight towards the end for me. You know what I mean? And Shakur Stevenson me and you, the regular people watching. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, everybody looking. The main thing is we see Tank Davis knock guys out, but in round 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? We see Anthony Joshua knock guys out before the end of the fight. We that's what you want to pay for. I don't want to pay. That's why the fight was free on ESPN because of how Shakur Stevenson fights. And if you feel me, I hope you do. I want you to understand. I'm not disrespecting Shakur Stevenson. That young man is great, but other great fighters did way more risk taking in order for me to say I'm going to watch it.
I want to protect that zero. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
You want to protect that zero, and the thing is, he's so good. He don't even have to fight that way. I'm sure he doesn't have to. He does it because it's safe. He is a safe fighter. I'm gonna, you know what Tank do? Tank get real close to you so he can figure out if you're powerful or not. And if you don't lay Tank out, he get excited. You know what I'm saying? Tank get excited. Now I'm gonna eat your food because you know why? I took your hardest punch. You can't do nothing else to me harder than that. I'm about to lay you out. Just give me a minute. Shakur Stevenson, the exact opposite. I'm gonna dodge as much as possible, but when you're ready, here comes a counter. 4 punches later, Here comes a nice little 2-piece. And now I'm back here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not an entertaining style of fighting. Is he the champ? Yes. Does he deserve more money to fight? Not necessarily. Will he fight somebody else like Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez? Maybe, but it's not interesting, bro. It ain't. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't want him. I don't want him to change. He just got to figure out a way to make it interesting some way in between there.
Well, he's going to have to change if he's going to want, you know what I mean, people to buy pay-per-views and things like that. You're going to have to be an exciting fighter in today's world. You know what I mean?
In today's world, yeah, and that's the point. People, you know, the display that we got, where one of my favorite fighters, what's my guy's name? We had the funeral for him. My mind's going blank right now.
Deontay Wilder. That fight card where there was nothing but people who got knocked out for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? 4 hours of fights. I want to say it was maybe 8 fights. 5 of them ended out in knockouts. How can you compare that to seeing what we see with Shakur Stevenson? You know what I'm saying? That's what the people want. And it's unfortunate that he doesn't deliver on that. He talk like it though. Oh, he get up there on the microphone and yo, I'm gonna beat you, boy. I'm gonna get And then he get in the ring and man, put your pillow down, put your feet up. Just read you a story. Just read your bedtime story about Shakur Stevenson. You know, but once again, all respect to Shakur Stevenson, but maybe they don't market him right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't market him right. And I think now he's got a fight coming up, if I'm not mistaken, with Pitbull Cruz. Shout out to everybody in the chat from my Instagram. Shout out to Ty, she might still be watching. But you know, it at the same time, you know, this is one of those times in boxing where styles make fights, and if you're not knocking them out, bro, how are we gonna promote you? So shout out to Shakur Stevenson, but it's hard for other people to have your back when you put on that display. No doubt. You got anything else going on the rest of the week, Whit, before we get out of here?
Hey man, guess what? I'm hitting the road. I'm going to South Carolina, and I'm gonna do In the Hoop from my hometown in my dad's office with a whole bunch of Nick paraphernalia around me. So we're doing In the Hoop. We're doing In the Hoop on Friday from my own town. I'm gonna eat some barbecue on camera. And you know, somehow, some way, we're gonna make it shake. Other than that, man, we doing Headkicks and Haymakers and another episode of Rec Room sometime next week.
Awesome. I'll be back on the LTS show tomorrow night, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. We'll be back this time next week, Wednesday, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern, again right here. Please tune in for 304 preview show. Yeah, that's right, UFC 304. So in London, headlined by none other than Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad and Curtis Blade versus Tom Aspinall. Yeah, headshot dead, baby. We'll be back tomorrow night, or I'll be back tomorrow night. Other than that, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. This has been another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. We'll see you then. I'm going to hit that outro.
Yeah, man.
All
right. It went down. All right. Well, I'm about to figure out what the hell I'm about to eat, bro. I'm hungry as shit.
All right, brother. I'll holler at you later.
All right, bro. Hold it down, man.
See you, bro.